CBS News commissioned a survey by the Opinion Research Corporation into public attitudes toward homosexuality. We discovered that Americans consider homosexuality more harmful to society than adultery, abortion, or prostitution.
And if we catch you in vow with a homosexual, your parents are going to know about it first. And you will be caught. Don't think you won't be caught. Because this is one thing you cannot get away with. This is one thing that if you don't get caught by us, you'll be caught by yourself. And the rest of your life will be a living hell.
Avísale a mi contrario que aquí estoy yo.
Los hombres ahí con esa jugadera de domino, no miran para el lado. Ellos ahí, aquí en el sur, ellos miran para no preguntar.
Dale, papi, dale, mira aquí. Ahí, dale, ¿qué? ¿A ti, qué? Dale, ellos, madre, ¿cómo puede ser? ¿Pero qué pica es esto? Yo no quiero estar en mi casa. Oye, no, yo no quiero estar mariconería en mi casa. No, para allá.
Cálmate, brother.
En la sala de un hospital, a las 9:43, nació Simón. Es el verano del 73, el orgullo de don Andrés por ser varón. Fue criado como los demás, con mano dura, con severidad, nunca opinó. Cuando crezcas vas a estudiar la misma vaina que tu papá, óyelo bien, tendrás que ser un gran varón. Al extranjero se fue Simón, lejos de casa se le olvidó aquel sermón. Cambió la forma de caminar, usaba falda, lápiz labial y un carterón. Cuenta la gente que un día el papá fue a visitarlo sin avisar, vaya que robo. Y una mujer le habló al pasar, le dijo: hola, ¿qué tal, papá? ¿Cómo te va? No me conoces, yo soy Simón, Simón, tu hijo, el gran
La vida
varón.
te da sorpresa como tú mismo la diste. Tu hijo buscando de un refugio ese que nunca diste, tratando de expresarse contigo y ni cuenta te diste. El tiempo nunca te falló, perderlo fue lo que elegiste. Ahora usa maquillaje con una cartera, tanto que te ama y ni lo acepta, que más tú le esperas. El destino nadie le escribe, nuestra alma sola se entrega. Aquí nadie tiene la culpa y si se ama como sea.
Sin una preparación, se te cayó la cara, pero soy tu hijo Simón. Ay, quiéreme y acéptame. Sí, tú que me criaste macho, ya ves que no funcionó. Dale, Jimmy, así se toca. No se equivoca, no se corrige y se respeta. A lo que nace doblado no interesa. Seguro que no. ¡Ja! En la sala de un hospital, de una extraña enfermedad, murió Simón. Es el verano del 96, al enfermo de la cama 10, nadie lloró.
Hello, everyone. My name is Diamond Rivera of the Live Discussions with Diamond podcast, and you just watched El Gran Varon by Mr.BStyles, the special guest we have tonight. But before we get started, this episode is sponsored by adovcate.com, where you can listen to this interview live in high quality. As well, big ups to DJ Cello and his recovery fund. Please donate now. And tonight, people, we have a very special guest, a person that I go many years back with when I first met him at the Mambo Mama Social. And fast forward so many years later and seeing the trajectory of his career is amazing. Not only is he inspiring, but I also call him a very good friend. And we have here all the way from the Boston area, the one and only Mr.BStyles.
What's going on, Diamond? How are you?
I'm good. It's so good to see one another. I mean, even though it's virtually, being able to connect once again, it really is great.
You got it, man. You got it. So how's everything with you, man?
Everything is great. You know, right now, 2021, just trying to start off on a great foot with these podcasts. And honestly, having you on tonight is really special. I mean, we go way back, but seeing what you've been able to do of recent with your budding music career and seeing where it's going, having you on is really an honor.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. I'm super honored to be here. I'm super honored to be here with you, spending time. And, you know, I'm really proud of you because you're doing a really good thing for what you've started and where I see this going. This is gonna blow up for you, man. And I'm really, really happy for you.
Absolutely. I mean, for me, I really tell all of my guests, I do this because we're in an art form that we're here today and gone tomorrow sometimes. This pandemic especially has shown how many artists that I love are no longer here, but also realizing artists like yourself still staying relevant, pushing the right messages forward, actually bringing about those new conversations that people need to have, realizing too the messages that you're putting across nowadays with your visuals, with your music, is something that honestly you are helping the new generation really build something great. I mean, as we always hear at the podcast, we love talking about your success overall, but also I think it's really important for people to understand not just Mr.BStyles, but Moises as the person. So, you know, for me, as I do with all my podcasts and my guests, we always start by taking it way back before dance and helping people understand who is Moises before dance.
Do you really want to go that back, bro? Like,
I really do. We're trying to go back to Lowell, Matt. Yeah.
All right. So I am 33 years old. I was born in Worcester, Massachusetts. For those from Worcester, South Worcester. Woo! At the age of either 3 or 4, my mom decided to move to Lowell, Massachusetts. Mm-hmm. And then from there, you know, it was me, my mom, and my 2 brothers. I went to school in Lowell. So I basically lived my life in Lowell. You know, my mom was a single mom in the projects. She actually made us go into dance. I started dancing when I was 9. She like in a summer camp. You know, after like when school was out, they would send us to summer camp, and my first choreography was like was an Aaliyah choreography. It was like a you know when we put it together like that, it was nothing like too crazy. Yeah, we're just doing this, and then we're like
Absolutely.
And then from there, I was very fortunate to. So in Lowell, there's a group. There's a teen center called UTEC, United Teen Equality Center. So basically, what it is they do a lot of street work in the community, and where they get the teens involved, doing stuff. So when I turned 12, I became a member, and that's when I noticed that there were salsa classes.
Yeah.
And
I had signed up. I was super nervous. I was really excited because I always wanted to dance salsa. Because ever since I was young, my father and my mom very big in music. And on my father's side of the family, there's a lot of musicians. Like I have a cousin that's a singer. He's actually in Puerto Rico. He sang for many singers. But going back to UTEC, I signed up for the salsa class, and they called us to remind us. I went in and I fell in love with it. And not only that, who my first instructor was?
Oh,
Berjou. Victor and Berjou from Machi Machete.
Wow. So how did teachers be that?
This is way before. So this is when I want to say when Acha first started. I'm talking about like 2004, 2005. Oh my God, long time. But I fell in love. I just the style, and when I seen them social dancing, I was like, oh my God, I gotta learn how to do this. So through UTEC, I was able to learn how to dance, and we did like a little teen group where we would like perform for the city and for little talent shows here and there. But it was under Victor and Berjou were really the ones that really did that for me. At the age of 17, so I came out of the closet at 15. I moved out of my house at 16. At the age of 17, I moved to Boston, and I started training with April Genovese.
Yes.
I don't know if you know April.
From the Boston Salsa Festival.
From the Boston Salsa Congress.
Congress.
So April is a very influential dancer. She's super. Oh my God! Wow. She started. I want to say she was part of Berjou's training as well. She was in Razzmatazz, and then she danced for Eddie Torres for some time, and then she danced for Yamule. I think she was Osmar's first dance partner when he launched Yamule. So she's trained a lot of people. I gotta say that. But also you got I also trained with Ana Masacote and Joel Masacote. Amazing. Ana's a huge inspiration to me as a dancer, as a performer, as a human being, because she's super amazing. And I'm super proud of what she's doing now and where she's going with her career. And then from there, I just continued taking classes, and then I met Sharon from Divinity Dance. I don't know if you know her.
Yes, I am familiar with her.
She's like a mini April. Oh my God. If you see her dancing and you see her, she is April's replica. The hair, the hands, the style, the body, everything is the only thing is she's like the Dominican version of April.
Oh my God.
but Sharon was a big influence on my dancing. She was the one that actually got me following.
Wow. And that's a beautiful thing. I'm sorry to cut you off, because for me too, growing up in the salsa scene, especially in New York, it was very rare at one point to see males following. And then over the years, seeing it more prominently, for me, I love it. I appreciate it. It actually helped me get better as a dancer. But also, let me ask you a question. Is it true that Berjou gave you the name Mr.BStyles?
So B was my last name, and she used to, because the thing is obviously Berjou was my first dance teacher, and I always loved what she did. Yeah, and I always wanted to be like a boy version of her, right? So I think I was 13, 14 when she was like, "Hey, BStyles,"
Wow. So it's just like,
and then when I turned 20 is when I became a man, and I decided to add the Mr. to it.
Gotcha. I mean, so let me ask you a question, Moises. Growing up in the Massachusetts area, even in the Boston area, what was it like being a gay male dancing, or even just being a gay male in your area growing up?
So to answer your question, in those times, it wasn't really how it is now. It wasn't as open as it was. So when the minute I started dancing, I was crazy. I've always been crazy about salsa. If you know me, everything I do is salsa, right? So they used to make fun of me for being a salsero, for being a dancer. I would go to like school dances when I was in 8th grade, and they'd be like, "Oh, Moses, sit down. It's not salsa." So it's they would make fun of me of that. And then when I was in 9th grade in high school, that's when I really started noticing that I was gay. And I've always known I was gay, but I've always held it to myself. But when I was edging to come out of the closet, at that point, people in my high school would like wait around for the gay guys to hang out and just make fun of them. So like, it was very hard for me to come out. When I did came out, it was the same. Like a lot of people stopped talking to me. A lot of people, they thought of me differently. And, you know, like when at that point of my life, I wasn't at my best because, when I was coming out of the closet, I was in my emotions. I was like 14, 15 years old. I was a teenager. And then like, there was some family stuff going on. So like, I left my house at 15 and a half, you know, so you could just imagine what I went through when I was younger, and I'm still going through it now. So like, I guess I am my worst enemy, and I so it was very hard. But with this music, with now doing music, I'm starting to find more about myself, and I'm starting to open up those walls and put those walls down. It's still a progress. It's still, you know, Rome wasn't built in a day. Yeah. But you know, ahí estamos, and we're going forward and we're going up.
Absolutely. And realizing too how special your story is in terms of, like you said, by 15 and a half, you're out the house, and realizing, quote unquote, you're not a grown up yet. You're really still a child, and now you're kind of having to do adult things. And me also, I would now kind of transition into, there was a point in your kind of dance journey that, you know, you made that trip to New York City.
Wow.
And I mean, and I know it goes way back, and I mean, that's really kind of the times that I met you around.
Oh my God.
8, 9 times. So tell me what it's like, you know, from coming from all the way from Lowell, Mass, the Boston area, to now coming to the big city of New York, and what was those experiences like?
So when I turned 18, I moved to Boston. Because I you know, life happens, and I was in a sad to say, but I went through a domestic violence situation where it was very, very traumatic. So I moved to Boston to start a new life. I started, I continued my training, and then I felt like there was nothing more in Boston, because at that point, Acha wasn't really teaching anymore. Mm-hmm. There wasn't really April wasn't teaching in Boston anymore. Everything was more on one. Mm-hmm. And then you got Masacote, but like at that point I really didn't see myself training with them. So I decided to come to New York. And what did I do? I jumped on a Greyhound, a Chinatown bus. It was $10. What you talking about?
Oh my God. you got to ball on a budget. Okay, you're balling on a budget there.
Yo, bro, but hey, listen, that bus gets you here, gets you safe. Yeah. The only thing is when I got off in Chinatown, I didn't know where to go, because I'm like, all right, where am I going? So of course I discovered SouthsideNewYork.com.
Yes.
And I found a social called Mambo Mamas, and that was that same day that I came. I think I had like a faux hawk. My hair was really shaved. Yes. I was mad skinny. Yes. And I don't know. Do you know Juna Simon? Juna?
The name sounds very familiar. It sounds familiar.
She is a dancer from Boston that came to New York. Mm-hmm. Also part of my trajectory. Oh my gosh, she's dope. She had told me to go to a social, so I showed up to the place, mm-hmm. and I met Abby. Oh my God, Abby was such. Oh my God. So it was her social, Mambo Mamas. And at that point, I was like, oh, I'm a gay boy. I want to follow. Like nobody's doing it. I want to be the first one to do it, you know, like, so in New York, I'm like, oh my God, I'm in New York. I'm in a social. It's like a dream come true. Mm-hmm. And I bumped into people that I haven't seen in years. My dogs are barking. And then from there, I was super inspired. And then I came back and I started training. Benji, my dogs. I started training. You know, my first one-on-one teacher was Karel. I started training with Karel, mm-hmm. Because I felt like she was. So at that point, I really was into the same gender stuff, because I don't know if you remember Eli and Jen.
Yes, I definitely.
Eli and Jen. So the same gender dancing really started with Sion. I don't know if you know Sion Stylist. He used to dance for Eddie Torres.
No, not specifically, but I mean, I definitely know it.
So this is like in the early 90s when things were going on. So Sion was the very first guy to do same gender. He did it. He was dancing with Frankie Martinez on he social danced at a Congress. I think it was the New York Salsa Congress, if I'm mistaken.
From like
Then
the 2000s.
Yeah, no. Yeah, early 2000s, yeah. And then you got Eli and Yan when they won the competition in Puerto Rico.
Yes, I remember that. That was
So-
game changing for sure, because you have to realize too, same gender dancing was definitely, you've seen it in social settings, but actually seeing it in a really competition aspect and win, that was definitely mine.
Yo, Eli really changed the game for everybody. Eli, he's based out of Philly, but he was a huge inspiration to me. So at that point I was like, you know what? I'm in the gay community, I'm in the salsa community. So where is the balance there, right? So like, if you look in the gay, if you look in, let's forget about the salsa world. Let's look at the LGBTQ like salsa events. If you go to a gay club in Boston, at least, a Latin night is one salsa, one merengue, and one bachata, and the rest is all top 40s. So at that point, I would come to New York to dance with all these dancers, and I would follow all the time. And then I'm like, yo, like in Boston, there's nobody doing that.
Yeah.
But in New York, guys dance all the time. So like having that I had this trauma when I was with that people would make fun of me, I didn't want to do it in Boston just yet. So what I did is I packed up and I moved to New York. And I think I lasted like a month. It was like early 2008. I lasted a month. I wasn't ready for New York, but in that month I did take classes I took classes at Yamula at the old studio.
Yes.
I started following a lot better. I don't know if you know Ralphie Rodriguez.
Ralphie sounds familiar, but I have to like put the name.
He's another dancer that was trained by April. That's just like her. So he was a reason why I started getting fluid with following. Yeah. And then one day I just got tired of New York. It was so hard. I couldn't find a job and whatnot. So I came back to Boston. When that happened, I met my ex-boyfriend. That rest in peace. He actually passed away not too long ago. And he was a ballet dancer. And me and him, we started dating, we started talking, and then he told me, he's like, why don't you start a salsa program in the gay community? Yeah. And that's where Out Salsa Boston was born. It was a great run, man. I started teaching salsa just like everybody else starts. In a space, in a space that like I approached the owners of Club Cafe. I'm sorry. I approached the owners from Club Cafe and I told them, I was like, listen, I'm a Latino. I'm a gay Latino. I'm 19 years old, and I'm a salsa dancer. And I would love to start teaching salsa classes here in the back room. Do you have any space available? He's like, yeah, we have open on Mondays. And I told him at this point, I don't have money to like pay for the space, but if you give me the space, I can flip it and we could build a night. So what happened was I started promoting within that setting, and it blew up out of crate. Like, bro, it was so crazy. Like we opened up a dance studio within 6 months. And we were doing events. We did a lot of outreach, and we did a lot of group classes for kids, like LGBT kids in the community. And it was more like and I partnered up with a lot of different organizations, HBGC, like Hispanic Black and Gay Coalition, Boston Pride, Boston Latin Pride. We did a lot with Latin Health Institute, LHI. LHI, Danny Ramos, oh my God, bless him. He was a huge inspiration to me, coming out as giving me the support that I needed when I moved to Boston. And then you got the people from the GMDVP, Gay Men's Domestic Violence Project, that was a huge advocate for me as well. So Daniel, I love you. You're great. And then from there, like everything started evolving and blowing up. And, like anything else, I went through a bad breakup and everything went down the drain. So like at that point, it was like early 2014, and I moved to New York. And that's when I was like, you know what, I'm going to go full with dancing and forget about everything else and just move to New York. And that's what I did. Absolutely. I moved back to New York and I started training. I decided to go the solo route. Yeah. I trained with Delia for a very long time. Delia Madera. Love her. I also trained with Moises Licea at Alvin Ailey. That's when I started getting into ballet and jazz and hip hop and other styles of dance. And And yeah, no, like the poco a poco, I started competing. I competed in LA. That was good, and it was good. And at one point, I was like, you know what? I think it's time that I hang up my shoes. And that's when I decided to pursue music.
Got you. And at least before we go on, we have a comment here by Neftali Medina, all the way from Boston, saying, "My dude, proud of you, bro. Keep climbing that ladder." And realizing again the influences that you make in your community, the contributions you give, really come back tenfold. So my question to you then is, with your dance career, from going from Boston to New York, and also you really being prominent and prevalent and focused on as well, not just leading but following, what was your overall experience like of being a male that predominantly would like to follow?
Oh my God, I love it. I love it. I love it. There's so like the thing is to be able to do both, right? And at once I got to New York, I decided that I've refused to dance train with men. All I trained with was with girls. So Delia Madera, you got Anya, I took classes with Melanie Castillo. I took you got to train with everybody, right? So that's the way it is. You get a little bit from everybody, you practice by yourself, and you master your craft. So like at that point I decided to only train with women. Sorry guys, I love you guys to death, but I'm a guy and I've been dancing with guys all my life. But I felt like that unique style, and the fact that I was trained by Burju, where that Burju, it has that funky, she's super funky, right? So what I wanted to do was master myself as a dancer and be my own unique person, I would say, because what I've realized is a lot of times when we grow up, we want to know how to dance like this person, like this person, like this person, and I was like that. Everybody's like that. But and then when I moved to New York, that I seen the dynamic of how the training goes and how everybody works together and everybody trains together and everybody like pushes forward and then everybody supports each other. It's a whole different ballgame. In Boston, it's not like that. Boston, the community is very, very, very tight, very knit, but it's really not how it is in New York. I would never compare anything to the dance world in New York, So like that made me be who I am now. And people are texting me. They're like, "Oh my God, I'm watching you." Okay, whatever. But like that whole dynamic of following and to be able to train with girls, but also be a guy and do that. Like I look at Antonio Dosa, and Antonio Dosa is amazing. Like look at what he does. Like look at what he's doing and where he's gone with his career. Like super inspiring. And then you got the boys from same gender, like the guys in Mexico that did an all dance company of all men. Like, look, it's amazing. And for me as a follower, like I do miss dance. I'm not gonna lie. I sometimes I'm like, do I really want to go back to the studio? But like at this point, I think social dancing is where I want to be. But I will at one point I will have to start training again. Yeah. Because with my music, as we grow, I have to like get back into the mode of dancing because of the performing world. So stay tuned. That should be there. But yeah, no, like the dynamic of the following world and to be different is amazing, bro. And it makes me feel good when people are like, "Yo, keep doing what you're doing." Like sometimes we're hard on ourselves, and it's just a matter of you being open and being straightforward with and following your heart.
Yeah, absolutely. Because the thing is, like I say, we are our harshest critics. Growing up, especially when we're in a world that many of the people are doing the same thing like us. We're trying to find our individuality. And for me, over the years, especially in New York, seeing people like Antonio Dosa and many of us.
What about Melody? Oh my God.
Oh yes, Melody. Oh my God.
Oh my God, love her. So guys, if you are into salseras and like Melody is, oh my God, wow. Yes. She took it to or Natalie Carrera.
Yes.
Natalie Carrera. She does drag shows and she performs salsa. She used to dance for Jersey's Finest with Grisel. And now look at her, what she's doing. She was dancing with Caribbean Soul. Amazing. Yeah. Amazing.
Sorry, what were you saying?
No, sigue.
No, I really wanted to say is that overall, what I'm so proud of is more and more year after year, decade after decade, the awesome thing of seeing representation, because I love seeing people from different backgrounds, different communities coming together and appreciating and working with one another. And like you said too, you coming from being a dancer, now that transition to music, but I also can say that you've learned to balance both of them perfectly together, because you now transitioning to music and still bringing that dance life and that dance world in it at the same time. I think.
Well, I will tell you, I am not by myself. I have a really strong team behind me, and let me tell you guys, everybody on my team are dancers. Oh my God! Like I got. I don't know if you know JP Ramirez.
I've heard of JP.
He's a brilliant makeup artist, super talented, brilliant. Oh my God, he like mostly all of my visuals is his work. And then you got Ilva Araval, which is my photographer. You got Marvin Peralta, my videographer. Rajin, he helped me with El Gran Varon. Like there's so much that goes into just me. So when you say the movement, and when you say the dynamic, and when you say the change, it's not just me, it's a whole team of people. And I'm very fortunate to have them by my side. Like it's super inspiring.
Absolutely. I mean, because like you said, now that transition to music, it's great having a support system there that believes in you, believes in the sense in the product, believes in the message. And for me now, the question is, when you made that transition to music, was there a specific vision in mind, or the kind of image you wanted to portray initially?
Well, all right. So it starts with the Outside Boston program. So with Outside Boston, the mission behind that was to bring Latin music on a higher platform for the LGBTQ community. Because there's honestly, if you look at the community, there's not a lot of events. Like in the salsa world, there's a lot of gay guys that dance salsa, that go social dancing. But when we go out to like a gay club, it's a Latin night, there's not a lot of representation. So like,
yeah.
And to add it to the added value, I've never seen another artist that does anything like this. So like for me to open up to really open up a platform for to be able to tell stories and to be somebody that I'm just being my own natural life. Like I've always wanted to sing since I was younger. I just didn't have the means to, because like I said, my mom was a single mom and we grew up in the projects, and I didn't know, like I'm basically the first person from my town to do anything like this, to be able to grow out, to leave Lowell, to leave Massachusetts. Now I'm in New York and I'm doing what I got to do, but it was like stepping stones. Like I started through dance, then it was out salsa, then it was training with you guys and exposing myself to people like you, and now it's like on a higher level, because I have a lot of people by my side. Like I have very talented musicians that are with me now, that have played with everybody. Like, Mark Anthony. You got Victor Manuel. So Victor Manuel's MD actually MD'd my music video Que Bueno, that was directed by JP, filmed by Marvin Peralta. So like that video is coming out soon. But it's not just me. It's like I've always seen myself doing this, but it was just a matter of time of when, right? So like 2 years ago, when I decided to stop dancing, I started searching, and I reached out to one of my friends that's a merenguera, and she connected to me with a producer by the name of Catano. So I started a project with him that I never finished, but I am gonna finish it, I promise. Because in that point, like I was going through some personal stuff here in New York. I moved back to Boston. I relaunched a studio over there. And one day, right before the pandemic hit, bro, like I decided to move back to New York, and you know what? I'm gonna go back to New York and do music.
Yeah.
And then the pandemic hit. Socials closed, no dancing, no nothing. We got fat. I got super like whatever. And then I started doing this like a karaoke show. I don't know if you see.
I remember seeing it. I remember seeing it. You were just like, let's just do some songs. I'm just gonna do some songs for you guys.
And if it was good, it was good. And if it wasn't good, I don't care. And somebody got to start somewhere.
It was entertaining.
So from there, I auditioned for La Voz before I moved to New York. I auditioned for La Voz in the US, and I made it through to the blind auditions, but I didn't go because I wasn't, like, you know how we're hard on ourselves, and I was afraid of rejection. I've always been afraid of rejection, and I've always been the one to try to please other people, and it's just something that like I want to be liked, and I want to, it's like it goes into like what happened to me when I was younger. Yeah, mental health, and the thing is like I'm working on that now, and I'm working through that now. And like I didn't feel like I was good enough for it, so I didn't want to make a fool of myself, so I didn't go. So I moved to New York. I started doing these karaoke shows at home, thinking that I was, Elvis Presley or something.
With the comb over, with the microphone to the side, yeah.
Yeah, with the comb over and the microphone to the side. And then one day, I'll tell you a story that happened to me in Boston before I moved back to New York. Mm-hmm. So last year, 2019, we were hired to perform for the Puerto Rican Festival. So I brought Almendra and Richie from New York to go dance with us in the festival. And that's at the point where I was in the midst of doing La Voz. And a very famous singer told me, she's like, a gay man would never make it in salsa as a singer. And I was like, oh, okay. That just lit fire under my ass,
yeah.
Like, okay, all right. So then I moved to New York. I started doing these shows. And one day I met a girl that her husband is a timbalero. Mm-hmm. And I messaged her. I was like, hey, listen. So I'm actually really want to get into the studio. I want to start recording, and I want to see where we could go. So she connected with me with Adam Perez, which he's a genius. I don't know if you know Chachi Nation.
Yes, I've heard of it.
I wanna dance with somebody. Say somebody. He's her producer. So she's another guy. She's another brilliant singer. Everybody knows her. Follow her, download her music. She's a huge inspiration to me. The minute that I seen her dancing and then I seen her singing, I was like,
Yeah, I think because Chachi used to be part of Caribbean Soul.
I was like, okay, Missy. Okay, now I see where you're going. Mm-hmm. And then so like I met Adam Perez. I didn't know he was her producer. I didn't know nothing from Hole in the Wall. I told him that I was looking for a vocal coach. He connected with my now vocal director, Aris Martinez. I don't know if you know him. Mm-hmm. He's always with me in videos, like in the background. Yeah. He is New York's best kept secret. He's trained so many singers that have made it. He stopped training people. He's like, I don't want to do this anymore. He met me and he took me under his wing like this. Let's go. And that same day, we started working on my song Que Bueno. Mm-hmm. That have you heard it?
Yes, I believe I have heard it.
Oh, guys, stay tuned for that. If you guys like to dance salsa, which I know you do, that song is for the dances. So prepárense para esa. And kudos to Jackie on the choreography. Jackie Ramos, mi gente, everybody. Like, the music video is brilliant. Oh my God. Everybody did such a good job on it. But we started working on Que Bueno. And then one day I was just talking to Adon about my story and who I am. And he was like, Moses, he was like, why don't you recreate El Gran Varon? He's like, you sing it all the time. Why not give it a modern twist? So I'm like, that's not a bad idea. And I was like, well, all right, let's do it.
Yeah.
We started working on it. And throughout the midst of producing El Gran Varon, I was like, is there a way that we could get Willie Colon on to play the trombone? Because Willie Colon is the reason why the song blew up in salsa, right? So the history of El Gran Varon, the song was written in 1964 by Omar Alfano. He released a ballad version of it, and it's actually a true story about somebody. So just so that you know, it's really true story. And then Willie Colon, when he was doing his Siembras album, I think it was Siembras, if I'm not mistaken, he recorded the song in salsa and he released it, and then that brought it to what it is now. Now, if the issue that I have with that version is that version is very homophobic, and it's from a not coming from a gay man and looking at the history behind it, I don't think it was it did it justice. It was made for the time that it was, and then to come up with the song again, we had to change the dynamic, because now you have a gay Latin man singing the song.
Yeah,
somebody that can relate to the story, that can tell the story, that can be, that can be like, I see myself in this character, and it's not just about being gay. When we were recording, when we were planning the music video, I had reached out to JP to do the makeup for the characters, because I don't know if you've seen that we did like the 90s effect, and then you got my so all the makeup visuals, that was JP Ramirez. JP was like, Moses, he's like, quite honestly, it's not just about being gay, it's all about inclusion. Yes. And then he was like, and this is his words, he's like, it's all about inclusion, it's all about people that are ostracized, people that are rejected. And me not thinking, me just wanting to get the song out, it took me to another level. Like, wow, this is a lot actually bigger than what I think it is, and it was really, really like I say, the team that I have beside me and behind me, they make what I'm doing as an artist elevated. Like JP, he's done so much. Like he started dancing in Chicago. I think it was with Maritza. Not Latin Reflections.
Latin Reflections in Brooklyn?
No. Latin Rhythm, I don't know where.
Latin Rhythms.
They're in. I don't know. Listen, on the next episode, talk to him. Let him tell you his story.
Absolutely.
But he's worked with many people. He knows, he's been in the gay community for a very long time. He's a huge inspiration to me, and like he honestly, he sets me straight. He tells me that. So like every time I go off on a limb, he's like, "Yo, like, he wants to blow up on me." But the message behind, so the part with where the dancers have the T-shirts,
yes,
it says sex, religion, inclusion, gender, race. That was his idea, because he's like, Moses, it's really bigger than just what you do, So like that's where it all started, and that's where my brain, me being a stick in the mud like always, I started opening my head a little more, and I'm like, wow, like, and little by little we get there shorter,
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, what really is amazing to me is to see from El Gran Varon, then hearing snippets of Ay Que Bueno, realizing again how much that you're correlating your dance world and the music world together. And again, big shout out to Jackie Ramos for that choreography. But realizing too, especially with El Gran Varon, from the visual standpoint, those messages, clearly what you're seeing, those are situations that many go through on a daily. I mean, for me as well, having the experience of having a former guest of mine who is trans and is from the Bronx and is living in that world and still being true to themselves, for me, it's important to highlight and keep that awareness and realizing and telling people these stories are real. Maybe it may not be in your family, but there is someone that's going through it.
No, but you also got to keep in mind, it's just anything in general. Like,
yes.
How would you feel if you were rejected for being who you were? Like look at me when I was younger. Like, I started dancing salsa, and people would make fun of me for dancing salsa. But look at me where I am now. Look at where they are. Like, that's just that that's just and the thing is me growing up gay, I use dance as my crutch to like really anytime I was down, I would go back to the studio. Anytime I would do this, like
Mhm.
anytime anything would happen to me, I would always fall back to dance. And you know, it's been a huge avenue for me as a person, and now as a singer. So you as all know what it is to perform on stage.
Yes.
When people clap for you, when people live for you, when people like, when you work hard for choreography, when you're learning choreography, when you're even taking class, and then you do it now. Now what I see is everybody recording videos. Now they have lights like this and the back, and it's like a performance. I'm like, oh shit! Like, let me get in on that. Let me get in on that trade. But like the dynamic of you social dancing, where people are like, oh my god, you're amazing.
Yeah.
You feel a certain way inside. Imagine doing that with dance, but now with music, you're not only you're telling a story, but you're reaching people on a different level. But at the same time, they're dancing to your music.
Yes.
It's like so inspiring, bro. Like I just started performing. Like I have a performance after this. Like after this, I'm going to perform. But like to be able to sing live and to be able to have dancers like me dance, and like when I do video, like when I shot my music video, I was able to bring on dancers to like dance with me, like to dance for me, and to let them shine in their light. Like, look, I get one of the music videos done. It was finished last night. Kudos to you, Marvin. Kudos to you, JP, for the amazing work that you guys did. And it's everybody's work. Like so we shot the video in Puerto Rico. And I used all of the gay boys and all of the gay dancers from Puerto Rico. Mm. And if you go to Puerto Rico, they lead and follow all the time. It's like, bro, but like I reached out to Jackie, and Jackie got the guys together, and the choreography came out amazing. I cannot wait to premiere the video, and I cannot wait to see what's going to come from that. But for me as a dancer, to create opportunities like that for other dancers is amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why too, for me, I feel throughout the years, you've been putting yourself in a position to now that you're becoming a leader within the community, but having that idea of inclusion, having people receive the messages that you're putting across. And for me, I always appreciated it was genuine.
It wasn't. It's not only me. Like I said, it's a team. There's no I in team. You know, like I even my husband, he inspires me to do stuff as well. And like I look at people like Antonio. I look at people like Melody, like Natalie, like to be able to be an artist and to be able to tell their story and be able to give them an opportunity. Mm-hmm. I'm excited for what's coming. I'm excited for what's going to happen in the future. Yes. I know that I will tell you this, that being a openly gay Latin salsa singer is hard. But through the dance world and through the history that we have as dancers, we can battle it together. And the fact that I can relate, that it's super relatable. It's like I don't know if you know the singer Daniela Darcourt.
I've heard of her.
Señor Mentira, necesito de mi vida.
All right.
Yeah. She's another dancer from Peru. And she's like the next up and coming female salsa singer. So like to have dancers like myself to come up to make a dent in the industry, because remember, us dancers like a certain type of music.
Yes.
And we're not gonna dance to just anything. And right now I feel like salsa is really not on where it used to be before. And I feel like it's time that somebody comes and changes the game a little bit, you know?
I mean, absolutely. I mean, to be honest, with Gran Varon, with Que Bueno,
you haven't even heard Reflejo.
Yes, when I know from these two that I've heard, I believe Reflejo is going to be amazing. I mean, the reason is I love the instrumentation. It's something
you know who that is? That's Adam Perez. That's hands down Adam Perez. So like Adan Perez, he's super talented. He works with a lot of local, he is the reason why. Remember the I like it like that.
Yes.
The show.
Mm-hmm.
He did all. I think he was the one that did all the music for that. So he's super talented. And wow,
man, and I think now that actually helps us transition to our closing segment called the randoms, where it's about 10 questions that allows myself and the audience to get to know you a little bit better. Because from really start to now, realizing kind of your journey and a glimpse of giving us different memories and moments, it helps me. I love asking this or doing this segment at the end because it can get a little spicy. It can get a little.
I do. Before I get spicy, what is that fuzzy thing you have on your mic?
Oh my God! It allows me.
Yo, guys, look, he has a fuzzy wuzzy on his mic.
Yes, I have a fuzzy wuzzy on my mic. You know, to break out the sound, the little ticks, you know, something.
I thought you said something else.
Not, ay, que bueno.
Guys, so look, I have another song.
Mm-hmm.
It's like over the wall and against it's like over the wall and the gays had it very, very dirty. That song's coming out next.
And what is that song called?
I'm not gonna say it, but it's super dirty and it's kind of like Moriendo Cafe.
Okay.
Moriendo Cafe. No. Listen, we gotta bring it back to that, bro.
I like that. I'm liking where it's headed. All right. So let's
a little modern, little old school, little
B.Styles. How about that? A little B.Styles. All right. First question. What right now, if you could have one meal, what would it be?
Yogurt.
What kind of yogurt? Chobani.
Yogurt.
All right, there you go. Next question is, if you could dance to one song at a social, what would it be?
Ay, que bueno.
All right.
Ay, que bueno.
I love it. All right, number 3, dream vacation destination.
Diamond's house.
Oh, God. A real destination.
Boston.
All right. You got to go back home. I mean, I would assume you said Puerto Rico. Maybe.
I mean, I was just in Puerto Rico, bro.
What about Greece? What about Santorini? What about, all right. I got
you. España.
Okay. España. Oh, I like that. I like what. All right. Number 4. What did Moises want to be at 10 years old?
A cantante.
All right. Since young, you knew.
There's a story. Before we leave here, I got to tell you the story that happened to me when I was 8. But let's go. Keep going.
All right. Number 5 is going to be, what is your spirit animal?
What is my spirit animal? A lion.
All right.
No, a cat. Meow.
Okay. A lot. I mean, you could be a lion and a cat for all I.
Yeah, but what's the difference? One is bigger than the other.
I mean,
bigger is better, right?
I heard they say that.
Big.
All right. Next question is: do you prefer partner work or shines?
My question to that is: in a performance setting or in a social setting?
Social setting.
Of course, partnering, bro. Come on. And I have to follow in heels.
I mean, you do it very well. From the videos I've seen, but also dancing with you personally, there's not many men that can last in heels like for hours. I don't know.
Well, you do know I do drag, right? I've done drag before.
Yes, I've seen. With Maria from Harlem, right?
Maria del Harlem. Ah!
All right, next question. What would be your superpower if you could have one?
I don't know. The power of music.
What about the ability to heal?
The ability to heal, yeah.
I like that. Healing people through your music. So I think that's great. All right, next question would be, if you could dance with one dancer right now, who would it be? If you're in a social right now, you could take one dancer, who would it be?
Bruno.
From?
Puerto Rico. Bruno Rodriguez.
All right. Bruno Rodriguez from Puerto Rico. I like that answer.
I mean, he's in New York now, but Bruno.
Okay.
Or Christian Crespo, another one.
All right. Big shout out to Christian and Bruno. Next,
You know, Christian makes my costumes.
wow. So you got the whole team. You got the whole
Yo.
team. Like, I mean, you got you got everyone. I mean, next, I mean, I don't know who's not gonna be on your team by next year. I mean, and that's really good because you got a lot of good directions to go to.
Oh my God, you got to see my mambo arm. Andy, can you bring my mambo arm? Is in the seat.
Your mambo arm.
Yeah, this is what's gonna make me different from everybody else.
Oh my God. This is a sneak peek into Mr.BStyles' mambo arm.
What else we got?
All right. Second to last question is, what is a special talent that many people wouldn't know you have? I don't. Oh my God. Oh, so what is this right now that you were showing us? It's the mambo arm?
So you guys know that that us as dancers, we love bling, right?
Mm-hmm.
So whenever I perform on a big stage, I'm gonna have an arm like this.
Just one arm.
It's one arm. It's like a crop top. It goes like this. It's just one arm. And I'm gonna be without a shirt, so I gotta get my body shape.
You got to get that summer body.
I mean, I'm doing good, I think.
Absolutely. Sorry. Next question and final question. This is called the island question. All right. It goes like this. If you're on an island, disclaimer, there is no Wi-Fi. You have 3 items you're going to have with you on this island. What would they be?
A man, a banana tree,
Mm-hmm.
and a speaker.
Perfect. Hopefully, it's a solar-powered speaker that could get you around stuff. And I definitely see what I definitely. Well, all right. So if you're gonna have this speaker, give me 3 songs? If you could have 3 songs, what would they be?
Moliendo café.
Mm-hmm.
Ay, qué bueno.
Mm-hmm.
Desde el día que te conocí, nació el reflejo que buscaba en mí.
All right. I like it. I like it. And I want to thank you so much for doing this segment.
Yo, what's up with the fuzzy wuzzy, bro?
That was definitely my fuzzy wuzzy.
Yo, you got a little too close to that thing, bro. Come on.
But honestly, I really thank you a lot for doing this segment because it allowed myself and the audience to get to know you a lot better. And now it brings us to the conclusion of our talk tonight. And honestly, like I said, from start to finish, I feel like myself and the audience has got to know you so much more than just the artist, more than just the dancer or the singer, but also realizing now how far your singing career has come and is going. And also, too, me and you have talked, and I'd love to bring you back because, you know, we know you have some amazing things coming up this year, and we would love to catch up with you later on this year to see how you're doing. But before we go, I would love to know if you had any last few words for myself and the audience and contact info on how people can reach you.
Well, first and foremost, I want to thank you for having me. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. I don't even know how many people tuned in, but I know this is gonna stay public. So thank you guys all for giving me your time. Thank you for hanging out with me. I want to say one thing. Always stay true to who you are. Don't ever let nobody tell you no. Don't ever let nobody think you're not good enough. And always dig within yourself. Look at yourself in the mirror. So I have a song called Reflejo that's coming out. We're shooting the video on that on Monday, but it's coming out next Friday. And when you look at yourself in the mirror, what do you see? Forget about everything else. Look at the mirror, look at yourself, and tell yourself you're good enough. Tell yourself you are what you are, and follow your heart and be the person that you came to this world to be.
And that's like a prayer, like a service. You just hit me with a beautiful sermon. And honestly, I mean, I would say not even just BStyles, but Moises, realizing how many years I've known you, just seeing your journey and seeing what you've been through and what, you know, barriers you've broken over the years and messages you put out, and now seeing how successful you are as a musician, I'm really proud that a person that I've known for many years is doing something that they love and that people love what you're doing.
And you know what's crazy, man? Like to have people like you guys as a supporter means so much. Like, the music is not easy. Nobody said it was gonna be easy. I've had there's been a lot of traction, and I'm
Yeah.
starting to. But God also puts things happen when they happen, and God puts things in your life when it's supposed to happen. Yeah. So like to be able to look at that and grow from that and to be bigger than what we really are is a big thing. And and quite honestly, like, I'm not the only one that does this. I'm not the first one that's gonna do it, and I'm not the last one that's gonna do it. So like, if you guys are out there and you guys are listening to this, I hope you guys follow me on Instagram. You can find me at Mr.BStyles. You can find me on Facebook. I'm on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, and stay tuned for my album release that's gonna be happening soon.
Absolutely. I mean, honestly, all I can really say.
Yo, Diamond, I'm gonna bring you in so you could do some duets with me.
Oh my God.
Listen, there's auto tune, bro, so you can sound like like Mariah Carey, bro.
I'd rather just bring my camera and do a nice recap video. How about that?
No, it'll be the BStyles / Diamond Rivera
Oh my God.
salsa song, and we'll call it Fuzzy Wuzzy.
Oh my God. How about I just come there and do some interviews and get behind the scenes with you guys? So I think I could do that. But I would definitely say at the end, the Loud Discussions with Diamond podcast is fully supportive of Mr.BStyles, your music, any new projects you're coming out with. Be sure that we will be sharing them and promoting them because we believe in you. And honestly, I thank you. I thank everyone tonight that has tuned in and will continue to tune in. This has been a really special episode of the Live Discussions with Diamond podcast. I am Diamond here with Mr.BStyles.
Mira, le mando un besito.
And I would say, if you're going to take it all the way back to Walter Mercado, mucho, mucho, mucho amor.
No, I say besito. Mwah.
Besito. Thank you, everyone. See you later. Stay safe. Bye, everyone.